Matterport uses newer iOS devices or 360 spherical cameras to create a 3D modeled space that you can do walkthroughs. These are commonly used by realtors to show homes and other properties for sale or rent. I'll press the play button to get started. The first thing you see is the dollhouse view of the space. Then it zooms inside and I'll start at the center point. Using the mouse, I will rotate around the garage. The circles on the ground represent areas that I used to create the 3D models. And let's go to this circle by the left wall. Straight ahead is the charging station. It happens to be my Gen 2 mobile connector that came with my car. It's connected to a NEMA 1450 outlet and allows up to 32 amps charging for my car. And now I'll scroll around so you can see the front garage door, the side entry door, and another window. By the way, my garage measures 24 feet wide by 22 feet deep. Now I will choose the circle near the rear wall. We can see the second charging setup there. This is also a NEMA 1450 outlet, and this one has my Gen 1 mobile connector that can reach up to 40 amps while charging. You also get a nice view of my tool cabinets and workbench. And on the left wall, I store a lot of my yard tools. Looking up, you can see that the 3D Capture also gets a good look at the garage door opener and 8-foot LED light fixtures. Moving to the last circle is near the right wall. We can see a close-up of my license plate collection from the states I've lived in. If you'd like more detail on the garage, I have a 12-part series included in my playlist that chronicles the construction process and finishing the interior. At this point, I'm going back to the center point of the garage. If I press the Dollhouse Mode button, it exits the Explore 3D Space mode and gives an exterior view of the space. I can then zoom around the different angles. Using the right mouse button, I can move the entire space up or down and left or right. And the left mouse button allows me to turn the space and the height view. For example, I can look down at a 3/4 view and also rotate around and move down if I choose to. This is like looking through the walls like they're not there. And lastly, I will move to a top view to see the entire garage interior. There is a Matterport Capture app that you install on your phone. For my garage, I use my phone on a tripod for rotating to capture different angles so that the software can merge the images into a coherent 3D space. I captured 4 locations in my garage, one in the center, one near each charging setup, and one on the far wall near the window. You can add more, but it also may increase the chance of errors. Using a tripod helps reduce the chance of capture errors. Looking around the space, you can see there are some stitching errors, but for the most part it does a very good job. Once you finish taking the 360 photos at a few different locations, you upload the project to Matterport. It will then process on their servers, and you will get an email when that is complete. Depending on complexity, it can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to do that. You can look at the completed 3D space on another app called Matterport Showcase. And you can look at these 3D spaces on their website. I'm going to add some scaled images of my car in the left and right sides of the garage to simulate back-in parking. If I add a measurement line, I can show a representation of the charge cord from station to the car, along with the rough distance. Since this distance shows a straight line, in real life it will actually be a bit longer since the cable will be along the floor. The car on the left side will be about 7 feet from the port to the mobile connector. and the car on the right side will be about 9 feet from the port to the mobile connector. Since most charging cables are 18 to 21 feet in length, this easily reaches the cars. I decided to install two NEMA 1450 outlets in the garage for two reasons. One, to allow two cars to charge at the same time, even though I currently only have one EV. And two, to allow all possible parking situations, to have a charging cable reach the port on the car. Another reason for the front left wall location is that it's only a foot away from my electrical panel and reduce the amount of wire needed for installation. Now I'm going to swap out the cars for front-end parking for the left and right sides of the garage. I will now measure lines from the rear charging setup to the right car. It will reach the port on the car at roughly 19 feet. Next, I will use the mobile connector on the left front wall. This line reaches the left car's charging port in about 6 feet. The last line is a bit longer to reach the car's charging port and is about 16 feet from the mobile connector. I mentioned that the left front NEMA 1450 outlet is only a foot away from my electrical panel, and it reduced the amount of wire needed for installation. For example, a location next to the panel only uses a few feet of wire, as opposed to the location in the back of the rear wall, which requires about 15 times as much wire. The outlet near the panel will run a slightly higher voltage and will be cooler too. I usually have 40 amps on my Gen 1 mobile connector on this closer outlet when I need to charge faster. Regarding charging, I usually charge the car at 24 to 32 amps most of the time, since it usually occurs at night and I don't need to charge super quickly if I'm sleeping. At 24 amps, there will be a lot less heat than at 32 or 40 amps. You can see my link to my previous video where I tested temperatures while charging at the handle, main unit, and outlet at different amp settings. But when I need to charge faster, having the 40 amps available is great. I would recommend buying a used Gen 1 mobile connector on eBay as the most cost-effective way to achieve 40 amp charging. Remember that mid-range and long-range Model 3s allow faster than 32 amps charging. I'll put a link in the video description so that you can explore the Matterport 3D garage space. It's a free program if you just want to create one space, and you can create multiple spaces and archive them if you want to have more than one. You just need a recent iPhone 10 or newer, or a 360 spherical camera like the Ricoh Theta or the Insta360. Some that have LiDAR built in are even more accurate than the iPhone 10R that I used. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please leave them below in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.